You're with me. Let's get going. It's game number 2 of our losers bracket. Juice Bandits in blue, Team Bliss in orange.
This is a must-win yet again, otherwise you're out of the tournament, and there will be certain implications that are way too far ahead to go over that. This start is at least played on the Team Bliss side.
Yeah, we'll see what they're going to be able to bring at the moment. It's a fair bit of defense. Cabo will be the one who tries to clear it across the middle of the field. Team Bliss, I fear for me, is an interesting one as an org as well. I mean, they are a little bit close to my home, quite in a literal sense, actually. Their headquarters has just recently been set up near where I live in Brisbane itself. I'm a little bit surprised to see the team, you know, not really playing there, even though, yes, I understand we're still in the situation that we're in Australia. It'd be cool, though, to see a world where we get to see this team actually play together, not necessarily in LAN, but at a Team HQ.
And at that point, we're going to get content with you in it as well, right? Team Bliss X Max Formal content. I'm all for it. I'd love that. Oh, Hockey loves a goal as well. Yes, sir.
Exactly. I'm going to infiltrate Team Bliss just like Hawk infiltrated their defense right here, just like Jake is infiltrating that Twitch chat. Just a nice little redirect, and all of a sudden, you're out on top. Juice Bandits 1-0.
It's a very simple shot. It doesn't, you know, say, oh, it's just, oh, yeah, a goal happened. Okay, nice. That's the basics. I feel like that's something that Juice Bandits were actually missing. They were always trying to reach the ceiling. They were shooting for the stars and get right catapulted back into the earth.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes that is all what you're going to need, especially against a team like Team Bliss, who, when I look at this lineup, I mean, Vortex and Cabo, they love to attack. I mean, the team said it itself. They want to maybe even rein in that attack a bit. And that, in theory, is one of the strengths of Zen. I mean, teams with Zen on it typically tend to be slower paced, more individually focused teams, but also teams that like to play defense until those opportunities for a counterattack present themselves. And then when you look at a team like the Juice Bandits that is so centered around one specific player having those pop-off moments, sometimes there are those types of teams that you can exploit. So I think you did say it, like Bliss does match up well against Juice Bandits. This could be their chance for that upset.
That's why it's so crazy to me that they said on Team Bliss, we love attacking because you don't do it a lot. which is, you know, fair enough. If you don't do something a lot, you end up loving it more because it's a bit of a luxury at that point. But I do want to see them push into the attack more, and Zen is certainly going to help with that. Look at an endpoint, for example, over in EU. They've got that one pop-up player and 2 phenomenal, somewhat backup roles to facilitate.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's why it's going to be the Hawk show if we're going to see the Bandits really take things over this split in theory. I mean, we could see a bit of a Hawk show right now. Zayd playing setup, going to keep it off that backboard. Just needed another touch. Instead, finds a face full of Zen.
Zen, does he have enough boost? He does now. Grabbing that big pad. Zayd should still get a touch. Combo, that's rapid. Vortex open, but he misses it. He arcs it too high, and all of a sudden the counterattack Zen. Whew. That was scary. Still scary, actually.
Wait, what?
Right in front of net.
I am seeing too many defenses just letting shots through, I feel like, as Sprat. I mean, that dunk into the double touch was a thing of beauty, so I'm not trying to take anything away from Sprat on that goal, but even going back to our last series, it feels like the middle of the field has been so open so many times.
They push up too far, they go up too close, and I don't know if it is a difference in play style, or they just kind of need to wake up again. And it is the first regional, the first regional back, I should say. It is, of course, the second split already. Juice Bandits and Team Bliss, I don't think they're at peak performance yet.
I don't think so either, but it's almost systematic. Oh my goodness, my words today. No one's back on form, all right? We're all had a long winter split, casters included. But no, I think it's a little bit symptomatic of sort of that winter split time off where none of these teams really are looking like they're playing at 100%, with the exception of maybe Riot and the Renegades, who we're going to be seeing play against each other a little bit later on. It's very much an open region. Once again, Zayd is going to be able to smash one through. 3-0 lead now for the Bandits.
Anybody I've talked to about that winter split or about that break, they all said, we took some time off. We're just going to lay back, and I love that because when you're at this level, you have to see it as a passion and your job, and you need time off from your job. Otherwise, it's going to get repetitive way too quickly.
Yeah. But the unfortunate side effect, though, sometimes is you come back with that little bit of rust, and we might be seeing that. I mean, I think there's a legitimate argument that could be made into what's happening with Ground Zero. Perhaps we're seeing a bit with Bliss right now, although Cabo is finally able to step forward, is finally able to get the goal for the Queensland side.
In general, Juice Bandits, for example, they don't necessarily play that all that much. You know, not when you think of a pro, you think of minimal 6 hours a day, grinding it out or something like that. I don't think they'll reach 6 hours a day. I think they're a long shot from that.
I think, though, that's also going to be the case for a lot of teams almost in this region. When you take a look at that dedicated scrim time outside of the top teams and outside of when they're, you know, really in that focus mode, yeah, absolutely. Finding 6 hours a day, I don't think it's really seen yet in the work culture for these teams, but it hasn't really been required almost. I don't know. I'm with you, especially over the Christmas holidays. It would be a bit much to expect that.
It's fair enough because obviously there's been RLCS for a decent amount of time, but it's not like the entirety of top 16 is a full-time job. There's still kids who are orgless, so the only money they're getting is that prize money, and I don't know, maybe some money from their parents because they're still young.
True. Yeah, can you imagine if that was like allowance money that you're getting paid for? You're like, dude, wash the dishes, mow the lawn, and play 2 hours of Rocket League, and you'll get your $25 at the end of the week.
Or you get to skip doing the chores if you do well in
True.
RLCS.
Yeah. Look, make top 4 in the regional, and guess what? Little sister's doing the dishes for the rest of the week. That sounds like a good deal to me.
Little sister gets the brunt of it.
Yeah.
It's just his siblings. Oh yeah, we're still not gonna do it. We're gonna give you an incentive, but still we're not gonna do it.
No, absolutely not. Look, game number 1, that's done and dusted in the books. Juice Bandits pretty much in control from start to finish, despite that late flurry out of Cabo and Co. Juice Bandits, I have to admit, this is a bit of what I was expecting coming into this matchup, though. The Bandits to be a bit more of that proactive team, to be a little bit faster than Team Bliss, who are still trying to figure out realistically what their identity is now that Zen has been included to the lineup.
Yeah, it's the first game, and it was relatively confidently in favor of Juice Bandits, which also allows us to trail a little bit of what's at hand. But for game number 2, I want to see Team Bliss stack up the cards and really play to their strengths.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll get to see a bit more of that, a bit more offensive play and sort of that in-their-face style that Team Bliss that one time was known for. Again, it hasn't really matched Zen's playstyle in the past. I mean, that was a bit more of Zen's playstyle, finding those long, drawn-out plays across the field. It was just a bit unfortunate that, well, Zen doesn't get the goal in this situation, left it for Cabo. Unfortunate, fortunate, depends on who you're rooting for. However, more of that in the future, please, for Bliss. Maybe they'll get themselves back in this series. However, Juice Bandits, they still are the favorites, and they're still up 1-0.
I see Zen scoring himself there as well, certainly in one of those opportunities, but we do go on to that second game. Still in the exact same series, Juice Bandits. They lost a bit of their mojo during the end of that game.
Yeah, that is very true, and it should be something to take note of, whether or not the Bandits will take that momentum back. Zayd bumping into Hawk certainly isn't helping things. Sprat also won't be able to make contact. That opens the doorway for Cabo. Nearly able to get through. Zayd back on defense, makes one touch, and now Hawk will bang it straight back the other way towards the net. Vortex barely gets that save.
Okay, Vortex will pipe down a little bit. Hawk sends one into the woods, gets challenged by Zen, as all the offensive pressure Juice Bandits had directly turned into their own half. Zaydkins breaking out. Hawk can't reach it. Now Sprat has to clear it up.
So when we looked at Juice Bandits for a lot of that fall split, it did feel like, yes, it was a majority of the Hawk show, but a lot of their successes did come off the back foot of Zayd. And when Zayd was playing well, able to find strong touches, able to get those strong dishes, that's when the Bandits were able to find victories. And I have to admit, so far in this game, Zayd has been looking very, very strong. I haven't seen many misplays come out of them just yet. I mean, that shot on target, that's fine. It caused 2 defenders to kind of change their position, caused them to burn that boost. Zayd is playing very much with his head, I feel like, in this matchup, and it is giving the Bandits opportunities.
Last split, Zayd was not in my mind as a top 2 player in Juice Bandits. Now, of course, that's putting him into a corner, But that just, he showed up massively, and I do think he had some tech issues the last split. I hope they got that all sorted. What I'm trying to say, I massively agree with your point. He's stepping up. That's making the Juice Bandits seem like a well-oiled machine. 0-0 still in this game, with a good challenge.
Yeah, however, Cabo is leading the charge for Team Bliss, nearly finds that opening, but again, it's Zayd on defense, finding that right touch, creating the space, but Vortex will be the one who slams it through, and Team Bliss, for the first time in the series, get themselves a lead.
And there they go. Zen to the... Oh, that's an unfortunate miss by Sprat. Low boost, not the case. He could have touched that. Just a simple misread. 3 minutes still left on the clock, and Juice Bandits are going to need to find that fire from underneath again.
And yeah, that's putting the pressure down. 2 unanswered goals now in a row for Team Bliss, has them in the lead of game number 2. And yes, I'm counting that one from game number 1. And although it is Zayd up to Hawk, has the pressure from Zen, who will bang it through. And that is the type of play that Zen absolutely knows Hawk is going to go for. I mean, these two have a history of playing with each other. Just got to go back to the gaming gamers where they had a very, very long, I think it was a year of playing on that same team, just the two of them along with Realize, and at times as well, players like Zuko also joining that lineup. There is a history between these two sides.
I love the history between all the teams and everybody. Somewhat being friends, but obviously at the same time rivals, which is also why Super Lackey massively trash-talking a Vortex score, and this doesn't matter that much in the long run.
No, it doesn't. As we take a look at this, a great setup for the double touch, but Vortex just slams that one through. 118 off of Hawk. Too much power, far too quick. Team Bliss now a comfortable 2-goal cushion.
They score about with 1 minute intervals. Maybe Zen want to do it quicker. This is a tough read. Thus won't make it. Sprat still clears the way in front of his teammate Hawk. Needs to quickly set up an attack first touch. Perfect. Flip reset going over the top. Maybe a bump on Vortex. He missed.
Gonna need a bit more than a flip reset to get it past this defense. The way how Team Bliss has risen their game in game number 2. Cabo dribbles it straight over the top. It looked open, but no power behind it. Sprat's able to clear it out for the save.
Zen just running interference in that defensive half, being a nuisance. Vortex across the pitch. Denied by Sprat. Hey, Hawk. Oh, also denied by Sprat, but that's the wrong team at that point.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're kind of running into troubles a little bit and creating that space. I mean, both teams are playing so far apart, like so spaced out right now. It's almost leading to the pace of the game to feel slower. Vortex almost double touches it into his own net, although it does work out in Bliss's favor. They clear it back the other way.
Calculated, and Hawk, this surely has to be calculated as well, right in front of his own goal, and not really a follow-up. Combo flip reset over the top of one. As Hawk on the clear away, he actually turns out and allows Sprat to do the job for him. They've had a tiny talk, but 48 seconds left on the clock, and Team Bliss up by 2. This is looking terrible for Juice Bandits.
Yeah, it's just not been a stronger game for them. The spread out gameplay, the slower tempo really seems to be giving Bliss, advantages in this one, as they're getting so many more clean touches in comparison to the Bandits that the Bandits just aren't able to get realistic setups going. I mean, yes, you can argue that was a shot, but there were 2 defenders in position to make that save. That wasn't a real threatening goal. Sprat now tries to go for a reset dish down to Hawk, who will play it off the ceiling. Zen again with that interception. Every play Hawk tries to make, Zen is there.
Well, this is shaping up like a perfect day. 2-all, or 1-all rather. Maybe 2-all if we can be really lucky. We have 6 games today. If they all go to the tippy top, we're in for the long run.
Yeah, we could be in for a long. Look, I promised in that last series, Hyperia, we're not doing any sweeps today. Sweeps are not allowed. Every series has to be competitive in some facet, so it's good that we're getting, quick 1-to-1s right away out of the gate. Team Bliss bouncing back after that first loss. It was a complete flip, I feel like. Bliss just felt in control from start to finish. 9 shots to 6. You can look at the ball touch differential slightly in their favor as well. The only thing the Juice Bandits had going for them was that one demo.
That one demo, and they didn't even get a goal off of that. Yes, statistic-wise, they were getting clattered. Also kind of in the game. 2-0, that does shape things up nicely. that third game is massively important. This will decide who gets onto match point, who has 2 opportunities to take this home. A reminder for everybody back at home, they're playing for tournament life here.
Absolutely they are. And I want to go back to that one demo and kind of tie it back in with the fact how far apart everyone seemed to be playing. I'm a little bit surprised that it was the Juice Bandits who found the one demo, because I felt like Team Bliss, they were a little bit more eager to get in the Bandits' face, but overall, when I'm looking at both these teams, I feel like neither of them were really willing to go for risky challenges, were really willing to shorten that field. They each felt so comfortable being spread out with these longer lobs. That's got to change. Someone has to make their opponents uncomfortable, and I feel like the team that does that is going to be the team that wins this third game.
They were a bit reluctant overall in OC. I also said it about Dire Wolves and also about Juice Bandits that sometimes their connection, their rotation into the attack is a tad bit too slow. They're too far out, which then they have to go back on defense because that one player far out. Then, okay, hold up for a second, but because that one player far out, he has to do it all by his lonesome in defense, which is basically impossible.
But then you look at how Forkitten, just in our last series, approached and how fast they were and how tight those rotations were and the successes that they had. I think that is much more the style that I would like to see our region sort of defined by moving forward, and I'm hoping one of these two teams can look to embrace it. Now, granted, it might not be in their nature, and at the end of the day, these teams are going to try to play to their strengths, which that doesn't seem to be the case, but the result right now is an even match, but a very much slower paced game, a very long play, lob shotty type game, and Vortex is the one who's constantly coming out on top as they get their third goal in a row.
This is why those long lobs are still being utilized, of course. When the opponent just misses, why not go for them? It's as simple as that. As soon as something works, don't change it. At the same time, you can't bank on your opponents continuously making mistakes. I want to see a proper thought out game where they are attacking in the rotation.
Yeah, well, we will get that, and I stand by the team that finds that sort of edge first is the team that I'm going to be vying for to take this series, and at the moment it's only been one player doing that. It's been Vortex, with the occasional combo moment as well. Hawk was the one we were expecting to see play like that. Hasn't really come through just yet. Pressure coming from Bliss right now, and it's Hawk who will be able to push it to the safety of the corner.
Chaos in the defense, Adekin's on the counter, and Chaos on the other side as well as 4 player to go for that same ball. Hawk arriving way too late. Vortex, man, you just highlighted outpacing him, then going for the demo. It's smart, but Sprat just backs up. Now interference in the defense. Sprat goes all the way down, but Sen still recovers.
And Sen is not only going to recover, but look to take it back the other way. Has Cabo underneath. A nice dish down. The power was there, but so too was the defender. Bandits come up with a big save.
Sprat into the corner. That's not unfortunate. Bandits forerun. Loses control. Sen still with a quick challenge. It trickles back into the center. Vortex with a free shot. You can't allow him to have a free shot like that. Sprat did, and I guess he will reap the benefits.
Ooh, I mean, it was off the post and out. I do want to credit Vortex, though, for trying to follow that up with a bump immediately, recognizing the shot was a bit too high. Unfortunately for Bliss, doesn't result in a goal just yet, and now Sprat nearly finds an angle, but Zen, doing what Zen does best, stays back, gets that booming clear, tries to follow it up underneath with a bump onto Zaid, but it won't result in a goal. Bliss unable to find the follow-up shot.
2 minutes are approaching. Hawk with a flake to the attack. Sprat with a redirect wants to profit off of it. I think that would have been saved otherwise.
It absolutely would have been, and this is what I was talking about, wanting to see one of these teams take a few more risks. Sprat spent a solid 7-8 seconds back on that opposing backboard, waiting for that clear to come their way, and they do capitalize. Tie ball game, just over 2 minutes remaining. Series still very much up in the air.
They need to combine power of Hawk and Sprat, or just Hawk. Hello, that's a goal as well.
And there's the Hawk we were waiting to see, Hyperia. We knew he was there. Just a cheeky little redirect from underneath. Enough power to get it past Vortex. And Juice Bandits are back out in front.
The quick bim bam. I said they need the combined power of Hawk and Sprat to defeat Vortex, but now Vortex probably needs one of his teammates. That's what Zen with a whip up, and Vortex rings it off the crossbar.
Vortex is just gunning for each and every one of these shots right now. If that ball is lobbed just outside that box, you can bet Vortex is going to be there again, taking that shot. And again, it's a little bit too high. Unfortunately, the accuracy is starting to dip off as the series does progress, but I love that edge that we're seeing out of Team Bliss.
It's unfortunate that their accuracy drops off. You do everything perfect, you get everything perfect except for about an inch every single time. That's going to be frustrating. You're going to have to shake it off, especially when you go down 3-1. They prevent it for now, but they have a minute to fight back.
I love that musty setup. It almost worked out there for the Bandits, but not quite coming to fruition. A minute remaining, Bandits in the lead. Zen, though, goes for the fake. Hawk having none of it. Hawk still one of the best one players in our region, so you'd expect them to come out on top in situations like that. Cabo now tries to follow through. Zayd steals it away, keeping the pressure for the Bandits. Gets the ball off the backboard, but no shot to be had.
Vortex now into the attack. Can he be man of the second? He's man of the hour thus far. He needs to do it in these final minute. Hawk off the crossbar, almost back into Sprat. Still down the sideline. Team Bliss, maybe one last opportunity if I choose Bandits do it properly.
Yeah, they still will get that chance, and this could be it. A pass to Cabo is intercepted by Sprat, but the attacking pressure is still there. Vortex actually quite far back, has to struggle to get to the ball in time now. A meatball up for grabs. Somebody please. Zen does get there first. Sprat will look to play through the corner, but with only 10 seconds to go, it's the Bandits in control.
Team Bliss back on defense, not the position they want to be in these final seconds. Otherwise, they're perfectly comfortable. Vortex out wide, Cabo back into the center. There's no dead space there. They're a Team Bliss member. Vortex to Zen. Cabo still keeps it up, wants to loop this into the ball.
No way!
That is there. Off the crossbar, and yet again with inches.
So many shots from Bliss hit that top crossbar that game. I think there was 4 that you would expect to go in that come up short. The most painful, of course, being the one at 0 seconds. This series, that game was up for grabs, and I'm a little bit surprised that Bliss wasn't able to convert in the end. I mean, the shot differential really tells the tale. 10 shots for Bliss compared to only 4 from the Bandits.
I guess Juice Bandits called dibs on this match or something, because Team Bliss were just not allowed to at least even take it to overtime. That's something you could have given them, Juice Bandits, but they don't care, and rightly so.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot on the line for these two teams. This is a good chance for either of them to kind of get their win. They have the more favorable matchup in theory when it comes to that next round in the losers bracket. So both of these teams should be saying, you know what, top 4, very accessible. And with ground 0 now out, maybe even top 3, maybe even top 2. So there's a lot to play for. I think both these teams should be having that confidence that they can go far today. And Juice Bandits, they're not going to show mercy. If they smell that blood in the water, it doesn't matter if you take 2 shots or 10, they're going to find ways to take the lead.
Oh yeah, and that lower bracket is like the Colosseum. There's gladiator fights all along, and everybody's as strong as everybody. Everybody could be their counterpart. Currently, Juice Bandits are doing so. And Team Bliss get 2 in a row, and it's all good. They have the capabilities that if you're off by only a few centimeters every single time, like here, that's easily fixable.
That shot is still painful to look at. Off that top crossbar and down, not quite in. However, no rest for the weary. We're going straight into game number 4. Bandits now on match point. A win here gets them into that top 6 finish. That's what they're gunning for. Bliss, meanwhile, fighting for their life.
Team Bliss are finding themselves as well every single time where they lob it wide. I have question marks, and then there's just a player there, so their connection, their chemistry is on point. Yet again, it's literally only that last part. Sprat style on reset, not through.
Yeah, but it still creates so much pressure. As you can see, Bliss unable to really drive it out until, well, the banger clear. And while that's all well and good, it's a swing and a miss from Cabo that will allow Hawk to keep possession. Zed misses as well. Oh my goodness, Hawk makes all 3 look silly, and that's a Juice Bandits 1-0 lead.
That is just as if he's skating on ice. Smooth, elegant, beautiful goal. Yet again, nothing out of the ordinary except just a smooth ride.
Did I mention Hawk is good at ones, that he practices ones and tends to win ones events? That's why. It's plays like that that shows how much control Hawk has when it comes to that ground game.
all 3v3 is just 3 1v1. Sprat, he might have a mean ones game as well in a 3v1.
I mean, that's been the Juice Bandits approach, though, has it not been? Like, they like their 1v1 matches. They like slowing the pace down with the spread out pitch and letting our individual skills cause your defense to react to us. And we saw that in spades right there with that early Juice Bandits lead. Now Bliss looking for that little bit of a revenge, as we do see them with possession in the middle of the field. Zen is able to stay with the play. However, Zayd just immediately takes it away from that midfield pressure.
Sprat with a good interference, otherwise that would have been a shot out of Zen and a ripper as well. It's instead Kobo to whip it up for his teammate. Hawk gets in between that. Zen also continue that aerial. Hawk in the midfield, let Zadikins take over, but also Zadikins calls himself off, and now all of a sudden Juice Bandits have to start from defense. Of course, Hawk calls Zadikins off.
As we do see Vortex not quite win that 50 the way they would like. Hawk already there in the middle of the field isn't able to turn it back around, so Bliss continue to find that little bit of offensive pressure. Zen gonna be the one who, well, ends up losing it for them actually, and now here comes the Bandits. Here comes Hawk, shot not quite on target.
Vortex right underneath. As soon as we called him out, as soon as we said, look, Vortex is playing insane, he's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, he just disappeared.
Hawk, he's stepping up. Sprat as well there on the defense.
Yeah, no, where did Vortex go? He got sucked into a Vortex perhaps, and that's not what Bliss needs right now. They kind of need their playmakers to step up in this situation. Halfway through this game, still down a goal. And yeah, we've seen them on the offensive half, but we haven't really seen them find any shots.
The Juice Bandits, it feels like they're going for the strat of just have Hawk in the attack and the rest will be back on defense. Yet again, another iteration, but Zadikins needs to be careful.
There it is!
Zadikins, oh no!
And Zen just bobbing his head. He knew I had this. The moment Zayd was on that back foot, has to go for the boost instead of the ball. Oh, I feel as if I've read that story too many times.
Oh, it's a bedtime story every single time.
Exactly, it puts me to sleep. But that's what happened right there. So, boost instead of ball, tie ball game. Team Bliss, they're not done yet.
Kobo, he even wants to continue against through Sprat for free. I'm not too sure what happened here.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to take a look at the replay on this one. Kobo, yeah, just shuts the play down in the middle of the pitch, takes a shot, scores a goal. Fair enough. Team Bliss now in the lead. Sometimes that happens, I feel like, in the first regional back. That's just, you know, first event back rust.
Yeah, a regain. You still have this game to play. You're only down by 1. The exact same situation Bliss finds themselves in overall in this series. Kobo wants to set up an attack.
Yeah, he does, and he might have Vortex on the outside, although Hawk keeps it high. That makes the shot difficult, and Zen may have pressed too far forward, but so too has the defense. We're just going, you know, horizontal instead of vertically up the field. Finally, Zayd able to clear it back to that Bliss side and nearly gets a goal.
And Juice Bandits, they were obstinate in their tactic of 2 in defense, Hawk in the attack. They're gonna have to change that. They're forced to adapt on the fly because they're down. They need to find more attacking pressure, and they can't really build it from defense. It doesn't look solid enough.
Yeah, it just has not been there. I need to agree, and now with 1 minute remaining, well, you know what? If you're not going to spec in defense, Iferia, why not just go all in on offense? Put all your points there, maybe a little bit in luck. It's an underrated skill. Maybe that's what the Bandits are going to need to come back in this one, but it feels like they're just constantly playing from their own side of the field.
Right, here they go again from their own side. 40 seconds. Zadikins, it's a decent pitch. Hawk is actually there. Hawk, can he get the second touch? He does. To the backboard.
No
Sprat
boost.
touches it back, and nobody there either. It was a good touch. Sprat intended that.
Yeah, he just needed a little bit more fuel in the tank, but unfortunately Sprat ran dry, and so too could the Bandits' chances perhaps in this game number 4. They're going to have one last attempt at it, but all 3 attackers are on the wrong side of the ball. Sprat is able to get behind it only just, but it doesn't matter. It's going to force them back on defense. A lot of work if they're going to try to tie this one up. Yes, Sprat is there, but so too is Kobo. Actually finds Vortex up the pitch, and that's going to end it with a 0-second goal going the other way. Team Bliss takes us to game 5.
Yes, another Game 5. Team Bliss, they've revitalized their attack. They were finding the goal. They weren't missing by inches every single time. We're able to measure it again. Rightly so. It's a very deserved match, and I think this series only is deserving of a Game 5.
Back-to-back Game 5, Cypheria. Oh, what a way to start off our second day here at Winter Split Regional 1. Team Bliss find a way to keep themselves in it. This time, you know, not only did they lead the shots, but they also led the goals, which is a nice turnaround. However, I have to admit, like, the games are still feeling far too close with how much time of possession Team Bliss seems to have.
Yeah, Team Bliss are an odd bunch in that regard. It feels very momentum-wise. I want to see more of them. But at the same time, if Choose Bandits pop up, I want to see more of them, which is why it's fair to go to a Game 5. But this could have been saved by Zadikins, I feel like.
There's a lot that could have gone the Bandits' way in that game. It was definitely still up for grabs. And, I mean, some of the individual efforts that we're seeing out of players like Hawk, I mean, that 1v3 goal was spectacular, and it nearly was enough to carry the Bandits through until that late flurry out of Bliss. I am hesitant to really pick a favorite now going into this last one, because we've seen both teams kind of look good at times and look shaky more often than not, particularly on that defensive side of the ball. I want to go back to consistency. I want to go back to the team willing to take a few more risks on the offensive side of the pitch and not play so spread out. I think the team that finds that approach and does so while keeping, you know, car on ball, as simple as that sounds, is going to be the one that wins this.
Oh, Vortex gets it out by Hawk, but both these teams are residing on thin ice as of this moment. They're on the same sheet and they need to push one off, otherwise you're going to both sink and might as well save yourself first.
Might as well try your best to just make sure that everyone looks foolish. I do agree. That's how I approach every game of Rocket League. If I'm going to look silly, so too shall everyone else, as that demo actually may have just saved a goal. No cheating for Sprat. Zen found him out.
Zen getting a lot of time there and see the attack. Getting a big boomer directly. That's a decent bump, but Kobo still far back in the long boomers by Juice Bandits. They're just getting returned right back in their own half and having to deal with it. Hawk keeps the ball a bit closer, but still in the end, Team Bliss forced in Hawk's hand and he has to give away possession.
As Sprat is unable to get it past that middle of the field, Vortex will be the one leading the charge back the other way. Cabo just outside the box isn't able to win the race against Hawk, and now Sprat will be the one leading the charge the other way. Has the reset, hits the touch, but Zen does enough to slow it down.
Kobo into the attack, long clear over the top, deep into the opposing half it goes. Hawkers it back. Vortex should have a touch. Sprat wants to make Vortex react to it. Does. Zen into the center, getting bumped up, but all three players of Juice Bandits were eager to jump on that.
I love how patient Zen was on his defense as well. Just sort of ghosting the ball, waiting for the time to find the touch that would be most beneficial for the team. Zen loves that counterattacking style, and it's so fun to watch when they're sort of in that zone and really getting a good read of the field. Has some of the best instincts in the region, and now Zen tries to use it for a shot, but this time the save will be made.
It was a double commit. Maybe they can hammer that one home afterwards. Sprat into the attack. He showed up with mechanics, a lot more mechanical than I'm used to seeing from him. Pass across the pitch. Sprat accelerates that even more than it was over a target.
Just over the middle of the field as well. Bliss looking, but not able to find the goal just yet. Hawk open across the middle, yet the pass was a bit too far forward. Far forward enough, at least, for Bliss to find that save. Bandits, I don't want to sound like a broken record, Hyperia, but they're so spread out that, like, these pass plays, they seem so transparent that Bliss is able to read them time again.
They don't even have to pre-jump. There's often times where Team Bliss are just in the correct position. Oh. That's something Team Bliss usually have had a mistake now on the Juice Bandit side. Oh, this is looking very eerie. Zen to the backboard flip, reset to boot. Sprat denies.
And Zade's already there, pushing it forward as well. Two defenders are in their way. Cabo tries to slow him down, doesn't find it. Where's the pass? Why is Sprat so far back? And that's what I mean. The Bandits are just unwilling to take those risks.
He's just having a little tea party in the defensive half. Wants to make sure that he's got a coffee to go. And Vortex, I'm going to send it back to the coffee maker. Sprat Kobo with a short Kobo forcing it through eerily in front of the net. Hawk now with a big bang directly blocked by Zen.
That's a good pass to Hawk, who is all alone yet again with the ball, throwing it back towards the middle of the pitch. Sprat this time finds the touch, but Cabo's underneath. Two defenders are now attackers. That was the third man. That's the open net, and that is the goal. Zen puts Team Bliss ahead.
It's crazy to me that Juice Bandits are still leaving the net open, even with being that spread out. They're not in the defense. They're not really into the attack. So where are they? Well, they're 1-0 down against Team Bliss.
And now the pressure is on for the Juice Bandits. They need that goal to equalize. They can't afford to play as passive as they've been. They can't afford to sit back on their laurels. They need to step up and make the play. Nearly finding the own goal, though, right there. A scary situation for the Bandits. Still, Hawk is the one with possession, making defenders miss. Hawk's going to try and do it themselves, it looks like, but doesn't find that bump onto Zen.
It's a good touch by Kobo. Arcs it into the 16. Zadekins through the side, Zero boost, Vortex knows it, just patiently waits. Sprat into the attack, 1 minute, otherwise you're knocked out from the tournament. Prove the entirety of the desk wrong. You need to do it right now, Juice Bandits.
That they do. The pressure is on, but Hawk has already lost possession to Zen. Sprat, small dish out. Zayd the one with control, but can't get that pass to Hawk before it's intercepted by Vortex. Half a minute remaining, and Bliss, they're playing tight. They're playing squishy, and they're not letting the Bandits get any of these touches through. Hawk has to go up high in order to try to get around Zen. Finds Zayd, shot, goal! And Team Bandits tie us up with one apiece.
They needed to tighten the leash on Hawk. You can't let him run that loose. You know that's going to be happening. Juice Bandits with 23 seconds. They bring it back.
And now we have ourselves on a precipice of an overtime. Heck, I'll call it now. Next goal, it's winning this one. If it happens in 20 seconds or if it happens in 20 minutes. I hope it doesn't happen in 20 minutes, but you never know. Hawk will be the one trying to play defense initially, but Bliss is looking to end it in regulation.
Zen across the page, Sprat is there, Kobo turning in. Of course, why would he not? Ceiling reset goes a bit too far down, still gets the pinch and into the center. Vortex there.
The ground pinch to Vortex comes through as we see this again. Cabo just finds the perfect angle, and Vortex, who had been invisible for the past two games, comes up big with 3 seconds to spare. Juice Bandits, take your last shot.
They have to get the ball under control, but it's going to drop right to the ground. Sprat just backed off even. He didn't even care about extending, and Team Bliss advance to the next round.
Team Bliss, put it together, get it done. Second upset in a row, Hyperia, and Team Bliss, they're smiling, they're laughing, they know how big that win is. Zen joining the team, and guess what? They're already finding success.
This desk today is terrible. Out of 6 predictions we've all individually made, we've only gotten 1 correct.
Look, I don't want to. I'm not looking at it that way. I'm looking at it as a new year, a